What is normal in your country but weird in the rest of the world? In Switzerland, carrying your military rifle with you. You get the SIG 550 when being conscripted in the army and you take it home, in your own property. Now, they're two different cases. When you're going to or coming from the military base, you also have your whole gear with you and you're in uniform, so no one is suspicious. But, there's the two case. We have mandatory shooting here. Obligatorisch aka Schießwesen außer Dienst. So you go to the shooting range. Many young guys don't have a car, so it's legal to transport these guns just with the train etc. without wearing your uniform. There were actually some alerts to the police, made by tourists, which thought there was a criminal or active shooter on the way. The military did made a response to the press later and said, that was legal. That was the case of a radio moderator which had his gun with him as he was going to work and morning into the shooting range on afternoon. He was ride his bicycle and had his rifle on him. Today, the soldiers don't carry ammo with them, but in my time, that was before 2007. We had the Taschen munition, emergency ammo, which was a sealed package with 50x 5.56mm NATO rounds. Maybe, this is not weird for US Redditors, but for many countries in the world with strict gun laws, like in Germany, a weapon have to be separated into parts, separated from ammo and always to be in a locked suitcase according to the law. Even in the US it's odd to see somebody carrying a rifle down the street. Those open carry advocates are oddities, not the norm. Kissing the cheeks as a way to salute between men. It's pretty common here, but when I've done it in America while visiting a friend of mine, some other people asked us if we were gay. In Denmark, if you haven't gotten married before the age of 25, you'll get tied to a streetlight and get showered with cinnamon. It's common to see big orange spots on the ground around streetlights. It's a very old tradition and we don't actually expect people to get married before 25, but the tradition still goes on. Out of the office. Germany has that tradition for when you're 30, but only in the north. Guys have to sweep the stairs of the cathedral until a virgin comes and kisses them. In New Zealand it is normal to be barefoot in public, in the mall, the supermarket, fast food places etc. It's even normal for kids to go to primary school barefoot. It's recognized this is unusual and has become a point of national pride for some people. Don't get me wrong, it's not like everyone is doing this, but it's a noticeable minority and would be seen on a daily basis, even in winter. In South Africa it's the same. In winter you'll see people in coats, shorts and barefoot, that, and flip-flops. If you ever find yourself surrounded by 3 or more Spaniards and want to start a mini civil war, you only have to ask with or without onion. You don't need to specify what, they'll all know instantly what you're talking about. In the highly unlikely event that they all were in agreement, there is a follow-up question guaranteed to succeed where the former one failed. Raw egg, or fully cooked. Although the degenerates who like their egg raw refer to it as being juicy or Galician, you'll have a massive argument going on in no time. What can I say? We take potato omelette very seriously. We scream when we cut the birthday cake in Venezuela. It is expected to be a blood-curdling scream, and people laugh at you and ridicule you if it wasn't loud or scary enough. Also, our birthday song is like 2 minutes long. 1. Throwing porcelain, ceramic pots, and other things in front of the bride-to-be's house a day or two before the wedding in order to break them into shards. It is said that these shards bring luck. Anything that breaks can be thrown, except for mirrors, as breaking a mirror brings 7 years of bad luck according to superstition. 2. Calling people out if they don't maintain eye contact when clinking glasses. It is said that people who look away will have 7 years of bad sex. We sit fully naked in a wet, hot room with either friends, family or strangers and whip each other with bath brooms, basically birch branches tied together, called vitreous. Simultaneously, we're often described as stereotypically socially awkward and reserved people. And after sitting in a hot, tiny room with strangers you preferably run out and dive into a big snow pile or anything really cold, and then you drink. Here in Switzerland it is considered normal for people to greet each other with 3 kisses on the cheek. I think it's also a thing in the Netherlands and Belgium. Don't get me started on France. The number of kisses and which cheek you begin with all depends on which part of the country you are living in. It's so awkward when you meet someone and you don't do it the same. In the Netherlands, when you go to a birthday, you don't just congratulate the person who's having their birthday, but you congratulate everyone at the party with that person's birthday. It can take a while to congratulate everyone. My Brazilian wife thought it was very funny when I congratulated her for her mom's birthday. Turns out that's not a thing. Context: I'm Spanish but studied my bachelor degree in the UK. This is more an anecdote on what is considered strange in my country but totally normal for me. After inviting a few uni friends to my hometown in Spain, a baffled former British friend said it was really strange that Spanish people drank during lunchtime and dinner just for the pleasure of it rather than to get drunk. She thought it was a waste of money to drink without actually getting drunk. She was dead serious. That was a real cultural turning point for me. Keep talking on the table after finishing a meal. I live in Mexico and talked to a Japanese guy who told me that in Japan after finishing a meal they just stand up, while here in other Hispanic countries it's common to keep talking. We call it sobremesa. Also here is more offensive to say no when you are invited to hang out and you don't want to do so than saying that you will try and just don't show. The way this is done in Japan is that you don't stop ordering food. In a Japanese pub, izakaya, it's common to order a few small dishes at a time for everybody to share, and just flag down a waitress when you want more drinks or more food. The party ends when you stop eating, but you can keep going as long as you like. We make over-exaggerated versions of every international dish. Hot dogs, put every sauce and french fry possible. Pizza, the sky is the limit and every topic is available, even fish, even shrimp, even Doritos. Sushi, put cheese, mayo, and sometimes even guava in it. Brazil for sure. Not my country, but when I was at a joint base with other service members from different countries, the African soldiers would hold hands if they were friends. It was really weird to see because in the US we're not supposed to show PDA in uniform. Cultural differences, I guess. It's rare among men, but Chinese girls always hold hands with their friends. United States here. Ads for prescription drugs always comes to mind when this gets asked. No reason Joe nobody sitting on his couch watching a commercial with some dude playing with his dogs and climbing a mountain should be telling his doctor what to prescribe, whether for herpes or me's. Haha, I watch those commercials and the people are always having big get-togethers with friends and frolicking in nature, and I'm left wondering if people really live like that or if I'm just a loser. At least the next commercial will offer me a pill for the latter. Not my country, but in Spain people celebrating a special moment or personal accomplishments, like their birthdays, bring something for the rest of the group to share instead of the other way around. I saw kids bring candy for the rest of their class on their birthday. My Spanish co-worker brought in a cake because their wife gave birth. I thought it was cute and a kind way to say, I hope you have a sweet moment on my special day. At least where I live in Germany it was also common in school to bring candy for the rest. I have no idea if this is common anywhere else, but in Norway talking to anyone in the public, on buses, on streets, etc. is avoided as much as possible, and we avoid strangers as much as we can. If we're on the bus, whenever a new passenger comes in, we pray to God that they don't sit next to us, because we enjoy our privacy. We want to sit alone and enjoy music, movies, staring out the window, knowing that the presence of another person is non-existent. So to speak, Norwegians were always prepared for battling COVID-19. Finland and Sweden says hi, except we don't. Please just keep distance and maybe we'll nod at each other to show respect. Cows. Everywhere. Literally all the time. Every corner you turn, there will be a cow. If it's not a cow then you better bet your butt it'll be a chicken instead. We have vaccination mascot. We used to have pretty strong and efficient vaccination programs and our mascot is just a way to symbolize that. Some outsider saw this mascot and thought it looked like a KKK uniform, but we're not letting a gringo ruin Zegatina. Zegatina is cute. Flag of Brazil. Flag of Brazil. Taking the yeast extract left over from making beer and turning it into a spread for toast. I don't get why only we do this. It's not like other places don't like beer. In the Philippines, we sometimes point with our lips. Also we put hot dogs in our spaghetti, which is also different because ours is a bit sweeter than the traditional spaghetti. We have arguments over which way round to put jam and cream on a scone. Things can get pretty heated, not helped by the fact we can't even agree on how to pronounce scone. Ah yes, Devon versus Cornwall. Tea ladies. This is a literal translation, and I guess the best interpretation in English would be a tea saleswoman. They're in every street in my country. Wherever you go, wherever you turn, whatever time of day it is, there's a woman selling tea and other hot drinks nearby. That sounds amazing. In America, eating extremely sugary desserts for breakfast. Donuts, most cereals, Pop-Tarts, all contain huge amounts of sugar and often little nutrition. There is literally Oreo cookie cereal kids eat for breakfast. I'll be honest, I don't know any adults who actually eat super sugary cereals or donuts or anything like that in the US. As a kid I definitely ate Cookie Crisp and Fruit Loops sometimes, which is 100% sugar. Multi-generational homes. In the US, someone who lives with their parents is a loser, while in most South American countries, it's a way to ensure you have a career. Your parents' grandparents take care of your kids and you get to go into your career. Women are able to achieve the American dream, being able to have a career and children if that's what they want. Men are able to stash cash instead of burning it on rent for an apartment so they can show off their independence to the random girl they're with. Your parents' grandparents get to enjoy more time with the newest members of the family and have a guaranteed place to stay when they get older. There is one tiny little downside. The real estate market isn't in a constant bubble, as people's kids don't need apartments, so the overall cost of real estate is more constrained. I wonder why the US real estate is broken. It's only really America where moving out is so ultra heavily encouraged. In Switzerland, people move out because they want to be on their own. Most young people move into a shared flat, usually 2-5 people. Nothing wrong staying with your parents if they have a house and ample space though. In America, many people treat their cats and dogs like small children, cooking them entire meat meals just for them daily, and walking small dogs around in little baby strollers is less common, but still common enough you can see it out in public regularly in rich areas. Cats and dogs often sleep in bed with the owners. Dogs are given benefit of the doubt by strangers, with people commonly asking to pet people's dogs. A dog in a public place will be pet by a fair amount of passerbys, usually with permission but not always. I love my animals, but I sure as crap don't put them in strollers. My German Shepherd is too big to sleep in our bed, but we don't care if he sleeps on our furniture. Plus he is friendly and will gladly accept a pet from a stranger. There are stray animals roaming around in my country all the time. Like not even dogs or cats, but little cows or bulls on the highway. And if you hit one you go to jail. You can do nothing but stop until they move from your way. Apparently Canada is one of the few places that puts maple syrup on their bacon. If you live somewhere that hasn't tried that, do it. Pancakes and bacon and maple syrup is amazing. Bullfighting as an activity that people enjoy watching. I know it's not exclusive from my country and that little by little it's fading away, but it shocks a lot of people. In the UK, it's normal for cats to be able to come and go from the house as they please, outside of dense city centres. Generally, we'd feel sorry for a cat that was always kept inside for being trapped and unable to roam like cats naturally do. There have been TV shows about domestic cats' habits, and they regularly have a mile-wide territory in the suburbs, and 5 miles or more in the countryside. This is changing a bit with time, and indoor cats are slowly becoming more common, particularly with apartment living in densely urban areas. But when I was a kid, an indoor cat was virtually unheard of. That's true of the whole of Europe though, unless you're right in the city center somewhere. For the new year, a human-sized doll is built with clothes and items that are no longer worn. Fill it with bags, sawdust, newspaper or anything else to shape it and set it on fire when the new year comes. Sometimes it also fills with gunpowder to exploit it in the middle of the streets and roads. And sometimes he is often given the image of some politicians in the country. In Mexico, it depends on the area you are in. It will be the things you find. Usually the strangest thing with the rest of the world is the type of chivalry or how helpful people are. For example, if you buy something, there is always someone to pack your things. Or if you have a car and you are going to go out in reverse, that person guides you and warns you of anything. Houses that cost $45.60k in 1997 now cost $1 million 1.5 M. I found images of some old real estate brochures a couple years back and it honestly pisses me off. And no, they're not special in any way. Not beachfront property, not a mansion, not historically or culturally notable or anything. Just crappy little 2-bedroom houses built in the 60s, with or without a small backyard. The economy here is overly reliant on real estate and now we have a generation of people who'll never own their own homes. Thanks, Australia. My family and I came here from a war-torn country expecting a better life only to progressively get crap on more and more over the past almost 2.5 decades. And this is just the icing on the cake. Same in the UK, especially London. House prices are mental. May the 1st. The young lads will carry a birch tree that's adorned with colourful paper and the name of the girl they want to woo through the city with their friends and put it up at said girl's window and have to defend the tree the night over. For other suitors or opportunists might take it down. Otherwise, the tree stays up for 1 month. When the guys show up again to take the tree with them, sadly, nowadays many guys seem to forget this part of the tradition. If the girls likes them, they are repaid with an invitation to dinner and a crate of beer. The beer is usually seen as a payment for friends of the suitor who helped carrying and defending the tree. Having your electricity just gone. Nowhere in T-World do they just shut down electricity for literally no freaking reason, except in Serbia. I have 2 things that can't go an hour without electricity and every day they turn it off for just about that much. And those are not any machines. No. Those keep the chickens warm, breeder wet, and pigs warm too. Last time 3 chickens died, this time 5. And if this keeps going I don't think I will be able to continue. Fairly common in a lot of countries I'm afraid. I believe the technical term is load shedding. Hope it gets sorted for you soon as I can only imagine how annoying it must be. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.